Okay, let's just say it. The collectibles market is under a ton of pressure right now. It feels chaotic, it's emotional, and honestly, a lot of the time it feels like it just can't last. But what if it's not actually breaking? What if what we're seeing is the market growing up? Let's dive into that.
This quote right here just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? All that hype, the FOMO, the constant fear of a crash, it feels so overwhelming because, well, the social media algorithms we're all scrolling through are literally built to amplify those exact emotions. It's a system that rewards feelings over facts, and it can leave you feeling like you're just being swept along for the ride.
And that really gets us to the heart of the problem. You've got a single collectible that is somehow two things at once. It's a financial asset with cold, hard data, and it's a personal artifact, a little piece of your own story. So the real question is, how on earth can a system that's built on both objective value and subjective meaning possibly hold itself together? We're going to unpack that right now. To really understand where we're going, we first have to get super clear about where we are right now. And all that chaos you're feeling? It all stems from one simple fact. Right now, a single graded slab is trying to do two completely different jobs at the exact same time. See, on one hand, that slab is a tool for the market. Its job is to authenticate, protect, and standardize a card so it can be traded easily. These are all functions of commerce, right? They're what turn a piece of cardboard into a liquid asset. But that's not the whole story. On the other hand, every collectible is also what we could call a meaning asset. Its value isn't just sitting there on a spreadsheet. No, it's rooted deep in culture, in nostalgia, in your personal story. It's like a ticket stub from a concert that completely changed your life. The financial value and the human value are totally tangled up. And it's this fundamental conflict that's forcing the entire system to evolve. And to solve that conflict, the market is evolving in a fascinating way. It's splitting into two very distinct lanes. The first one is what we'll call the objective lane. This is a path driven entirely by the market's endless demand for perfect trust, and it's all about technology, precision, and security. We're already seeing the first steps of this. Grading companies are tightening up their standards, trying to replace subjective opinions with hard math. AI is being brought in to take human error out of the equation when it comes to spotting flaws. And pretty soon, you're going to see unified population reports that finally give us real-time data on the true scarcity of every card, creating one universal source of truth. But all of that's really just laying the groundwork. The real game changer, the big leap, happens when the physical slab itself gets a unique, verifiable digital identity. Yeah, identity chips are the next huge step. Just imagine scanning a slab with your phone and instantly verifying that it's real, what its grade is, and its entire history. This one piece of technology solves the market's biggest problems: fraud, fake slabs, swapped labels, all by creating a secure, unbreakable chain of custody. This is the end goal of the objective lane, to get as close to perfect trust as possible. But here's the twist. While one half of the market is chasing that robotic precision, the other half is moving in the complete opposite direction. It's creating a second lane, one that's all about deepening the human connection we have to these objects. This chart lays out the split perfectly. You've got the objective lane, where the goal is trust, the value is liquidity, and the function is authentication. But then you have the subjective lane. Here, the goal is memory, the value is identity, and the function is preserving the object's unique story. The market needs both, and it's finally figuring out that it can't get both from the exact same place. This whole evolution completely changes what a graded slab even is. Today, it's basically a tool. By 2030, that digital identity turns it into a passport that tracks its journey around the world. And by 2035, it fully becomes a historical artifact, a vessel that actively preserves memories and stories. And this happens through what you could call layers of provenance. The slab's digital identity will log its entire history: who owned it, what auctions it was in, even if it was scanned at a convention. But what's really cool is that collectors will be able to add their own digital notes, turning this static piece of plastic into a dynamic object with its own life story. This rich history adds a ton of cultural and personal value. So the system is splitting in two. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Doesn't that sound like a weakness? Like the market is fracturing? But it's actually the opposite. This very separation is what's going to make the entire ecosystem stable and resilient for decades to come. The key to all of this stability is a really powerful idea we can call the meaning buffer effect. So here's how it works. Market downturns, they're going to happen. It's inevitable.
And when they do, the speculators, the people who are only in it for a quick profit, they're going to panic and they're going to sell. But the true collectors, the people over in that subjective lane, they hold. And why? Because their connection to that card, its meaning to them, didn't change just because the price did. That massive group of people all deciding not to sell creates a stable floor. It acts like a giant shock absorber that keeps the whole market from completely falling apart. You can almost think of it like this. The constant flow of people and money and meaning in and out of the hobby isn't a sign of instability. No, that's the very thing that keeps the ecosystem healthy and able to adapt. It allows the market to breathe without actually breaking.
So what's the end game? What does this mature two-lane ecosystem actually look like in the long run? Well, it points to a future where our culture itself becomes a really powerful and recognized form of capital. Over the next decade or so, technology is going to evolve to serve both of these lanes. We're going to see AI-integrated marketplaces that offer meaning advice right alongside financial data. I mean, imagine an AI that helps you find that one last piece to complete a collection that tells a very specific story, and then it connects you with the one person on the planet who would value that story the most. And all of this leads to a future where collecting these items is just as normal as, say, displaying art prints, having a shelf of rare books, or owning a nice watch. They become a part of our homes and our identities, things we pass down not just for their monetary value, but for the amazing stories they carry. The slab becomes a little time capsule for cultural memory. When you step back and look at it, what we're really watching is a global market learning how to run on passion, on identity, and on memory. So what if this isn't just about collectibles? What if we're getting a sneak peek into a much bigger future? One where our most valuable assets aren't just financial, but cultural. What if culture, as a form of capital, is the next big thing?